Fertilizer service. What is the fertilizer service? We obtain fertilizer from the manufacturer, which we actually spread, collect, and evaluate. In our database, more than 10,000 different types of fertilizers are stored. At Amazona, we have for many years produced setting charts from these spread tests. We receive from these manufacturers fertilizer in large quantities, approximately 3 tons, and physically spread this, collecting it in the measuring system. We evaluate the results and obtain such a print out of the lateral distribution pattern. In what is now the most modern test hall in the world, working widths of up to 72 meters can be performed, and now each spread pattern is also represented three-dimensionally. The test hall output has been substantially increased, but we have been able to reduce the resource that runs it. The farmer also has the possibility with Amazona to get a type of fertilizer analyzed. They send us a 3-kilogram sample, and we analyze this material for its physical properties. Compare these results with fertilizers that we have already spread, of which we also know the physical qualities. And if we find a comparable fertilizer in the database, we can pass these settings on to the farmer. Here, the fertilizer samples are received and the data added to the database. Each type of fertilizer is photographed. In order to determine the bulk density, a 1 litre measuring jug is filled, levelled off and then weighed. So a kilogram per litre value is established. An important aspect for the correct setting of the spreader is the flow characteristics of the fertilizer. Here it is determined how much fertilizer flows through a defined hole in a certain time. With the vibrating sieves, the size spectrum of the granules is determined. With a pill cracker from the pharmacy industry, the breaking force of each fertilizer granule is measured. From every fertilizer sample test, 100 milliliters are saved and stored, and so can be later referred back to if necessary. Also, the moisture content of the fertilizer plays a big role, and this is determined with the help of an oven. Utilizing specialist equipment, the surface finish of the fertilizer is investigated and the throw-off angle determined. The settings determined in the spreading test hall are passed on to the farmer by way of the printed setting chart. The farmer can also check for these settings on the internet or contact us by telephone. With the help of the mobile test kit, the farmer has the possibility to check the lateral distribution in the field. An optimal lateral and longitudinal distribution can only be achieved if the machine is adjusted correctly. With a mobile test kit offered by Amazona, the checking of the lateral distribution directly in the field is quick and simple. The mobile test kit consists of 8 trays with diffusers and a measuring funnel. In order to check the spread pattern, the 8 trays are set up both in the tram line and at the overlap point. The spreader then drives up the first tram line, turns and comes back down the next one. Now the 4 collecting trays are emptied into one another and then poured subsequently into the measuring funnel. If the lateral distribution is uneven in the field, one can see this in the funnel by a variation in the heights, and any inaccuracy can then be corrected. In order to help the environment, it is especially important to make sure both the longitudinal and the lateral distribution of the fertilizer in the field are as accurate as possible. That means, particularly at the wider working widths and when making less passes through the crop, that the plant is optimally fed. This change in approach to fertilizer application, where these days it is necessary to try to cut input costs such as fertilizer and fuel, as well as saving time for the operation, makes it an easy decision to buy an Amazona fertilizer spreader. With Amazona, one gets not only the hardware, but also just as importantly, the necessary service to go with it.